You may find this hard to believe, but the U.S. government is on the verge of a shutdown, and it could happen as early as Tuesday. The politically divided Congress remains unable to agree on a formula to extend federal spending. All non-essential government services would be halted, and thousands of federal workers will be idled. VOA's Michael Bowman has more.
Tempers flared late Saturday in the House of Representatives before the Republican-controlled chamber approved a spending bill.
This is a bill to keep the government open.
Congressman Rob Woodall hailed a provision in the bill delaying implementation of President Barack Obama's signature health care law.
It asked to delay it for 1 year. For 1 year.
Democrats blasted Republican tactics to cripple the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. Congressman David Price.
Another chapter of Republican hostage-taking, threatening to shut down the government or refuse to pay the country's bills if they don't get their way politically.
Republicans insist they are simply representing their constituents' concerns. Congressman Mark Meadows.
You know, we've heard a lot in this chamber this evening about the government. The government this, the government that, the government. When do we start focusing on the people?
The House bill goes back to the Democratic-controlled Senate, which last week voted to extend federal funding with no other provisions attached. Majority Leader Harry Reid called the House bill pointless and said that only a clean spending bill will reach President Obama's desk. The president has refused to negotiate with Republicans.
No one gets to hurt our economy and millions of innocent people just because there are a couple of laws that you don't like. It hasn't been done in the past, and we're not going to start doing it now.
Monday, the Senate is expected to shelve the House bill, leaving the U.S. government without spending authority as of October 1st. This is the first of two fiscal fights. Later this month, Congress must extend federal borrowing authority or risk a default on the national debt. Economists warn that a protracted government shutdown or a debt default would bring disastrous consequences. The domestic fiscal battles come as President Obama pursues a nascent, fragile diplomatic opening with Iran in hopes of restricting Tehran's nuclear program. The topic is sure to be a focus of discussions Monday when Mr. Obama hosts Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House. Michael Bowman, VOA News, Washington.
Africa 54's Laurel Bowman joins us live from Capitol Hill with more insight on this government shutdown, which could be effective tonight. Laurel, hi.
Hi, Vincent. That's true, and it is a very tense day here on Capitol Hill. The Senate is expected to go back to work in about 90 minutes on this controversial spending plan. Parts of this plan aim to defund Obamacare. Meantime, Obamacare goes into effect tomorrow. It is a confusing situation. The United States Constitution mandates lawmakers to fund the federal government, and the spending bill in question funds the government. This means that if no spending bill is passed, the government shuts down tomorrow. Meanwhile, people can start signing up for Obamacare tomorrow. That law mandates health insurance for all Americans. It is controversial. Republicans say it hurts business by forcing them to cut back on their workforce to avoid health care costs. Democrats say it's cheaper in the long run because more people get preventative care. Vincent?
Now, for clarity here, some would like to know how does the shutdown really affect the ordinary American?
Well, for ordinary Americans, it's not going to affect ordinary Americans very much at all. It's 800,000 to 1 million government workers. You and I are government workers. But for ordinary Americans, national parks will be closed. For foreigners, for example, who need to think about passports or visas, the State Department says consular offices will still be open. They have funds outside of those that Congress gives them. They take fees, etc. But I would hurry if I were you.
You better rush to the U.S. Embassy. Now,
Exactly.
do we have a clue how long the shutdown is likely to last?
Well, people are saying a few days, and that is about what the public can tolerate. The last government shutdown was in 1995 to 1996. It lasted 21 days, and this left a really sour taste in the mouths of a lot of Americans, and lawmakers are thinking about this now, lawmakers who need to be re-elected. So even those who oppose Obamacare may vote for this bill.
So just briefly, it is to be understood, at least to our viewers, that not all government employees will not go to work, and just a certain fraction.
Exactly, exactly. Many things will keep running, airport security, you know, lots of the IRS, so don't think about not paying your taxes. Many things are going to keep going.
All right, thank you very much, Laurel, for adding some clarity to that story. Well, so that's really where we stand. Rather, that is what we know as of this time. But right now, let's take a break. And we hope that you can check out our Facebook to also like us and see what we are talking about there. We have a number of stories that you need to see highlighted there. We'll be right back in a moment.